Well, it looks like Alyssa Mercante's lawsuit has, well, nothing to stand on. It has no legs. It's on shifting sands at best. And her legal team is actually scrambling to try to make sense of it all, or at least hold together a very cobbled together lawsuit. We got some interesting takes on this, and one from the attorney himself. So let's jump into it on That Game Plays. Hi, friends. It's me, CC, here with the one and only Loki and his, newly named channel. How you doing, Loki?
I'm doing all right. I'm doing all right. Better than Alyssa Mercante, apparently.
Oh, so very
But
true.
that's not hard, is it?
No, it isn't. And let me tell you, this is something that I thought would have been already settled. And yet, here we are, fresh off the weekend, with a response from Mercante's legal team to SmashJT and attorney Ron Coleman. Let's jump in, Loki. Here we go. Alyssa Mercante's legal team scrambles to defend SmashJT lawsuit as Ron Coleman's motion to dismiss stands strong. And all that actually means something here, Loki. This is one of those strange situations where truth and fiction are equally strange. And since you don't have much background on this, I'm just going to say this lawsuit was filed a long time ago. The immediate response from Ron Coleman's law firm, and obviously from him himself, was basically a motion to dismiss. Get rid of this. Let's push it to the side because it doesn't have any standing. It doesn't have any merit. There's nothing there. So
It's been a slap fight. From my understanding, culture, it's been a slap fight. One person says one bad thing about the other, back and forth it goes, and then we're stuck with this thing that's happening because one side got their panties twisted and they want to come out on top. Well, good luck, buckle up, Buttercup, because I think all this paperwork, all this stuff that it's going to go into the trash. Someone's going to throw a match in it, and then they're going to be warming their hands by the fire.
yeah, and I think that your instincts are correct. I think this is just a matter of time before it's dismissed. But the legal battle between YouTube personality SmashJT and former Kotaku senior editor Alyssa Mercante has taken another turn. No kidding. Mercante's legal team from the firm Cohen and Green filed a response to SmashJT's attorney Ron Coleman's motion to dismiss, which I would have thought would have actually just happened. Now, based on the arguments presented, it appears that they are grasping at straws in a desperate attempt to keep the lawsuit alive. And honestly, Loki, I think that's really all this is, because there is like a lot of money that's going to be spent on her side of the equation that is, well, silly, stupid, and this is frivolous. And really, it just comes down to billing hours for these guys. What do you think?
Oh, I agree. This is pointless. She has given out more than he has as far as what's been going on behind the scenes, what's been going on social media. The slap bite between people getting into arguments on social media has been completely carried away to another level. And that's why we find ourselves in this situation now with Smash and with Alyssa, is because neither one of them wants to take any licks in the social media space. They don't want to admit they did anything wrong, and they're just pointing fingers at each other, saying you did this, you did that, and that none of this needed to happen. Period.
Oh, I'm with you 100%, my friend. And full disclosure, because we are affiliated with that park place, I have to say that YouTube personality SmashJT is represented in this case by Ron Coleman and the Coleman Law Firm. Because of that Park Place affiliation and the fact that we are legally represented by Mr. Coleman, we have to read this disclosure and disclaimer. So here we go, though. The jurisdiction claims are falling apart, Loki. One of the key arguments in Mercante's response is an attempt to establish jurisdiction in New York, where the lawsuit is filed. That's actually where I think Alyssa still lives. Her lawyers claim defendant statements were broadcast from a location that falls within this court's jurisdiction, which is not true. Because
I would think that's a little bit of fibbing. That's a little bit of fibbing right there. Just because you watch something in New York doesn't mean it was broadcasted from New York. Is Smash broadcasting from New York?
I don't think so, but I think that
I don't think so either.
yeah, I think he's not in New York. But here's the other thing. Directly contradicts what Coleman laid out in his motion to dismiss, which is arguing that there are no allegations and there could be none, that SmashJT conducts business in New York. His motion cited established legal precedent that placing alleged defamatory content on the internet and making it accessible to the public does not constitute the transaction of business in New York, even when it's likely that the material will be read by New Yorkers. Makes sense, right? Because otherwise there would be no jurisdiction. Everything everywhere would be jurisdiction for something like that. So, despite this, Mercante's legal team attempts to sidestep the jurisdictional issue by falsely claiming that Hypnocast, a broadcast featuring SmashJT, was conducted from a location under New York jurisdiction. However, SmashJT has confirmed that the claim is untrue, as Hypnotic, the host of Hypnocast, does not reside in New York. And maybe that's the actual issue, because it doesn't sound like. And again, I watch Hypnocast. I just watched this last weekend's Hypnocast. It was pretty cool, as it always is. But SmashJT is in a different location than Hypnotic is, or anybody else that happens to be on that show. Loki, you're not in New York, right?
No, everybody knows Loki's in that great state of Texas where the stars shine bright and late at night and all that fun stuff. So yeah, I mean, good luck taking me to court in New York just because you say, "Oh, this broadcast is happening in New York." No, the broadcast is happening here. It's been happening here for the last 3 years, 2 years. I was broadcasting from another location, so.
Yeah.
This is all just grasping, like they said, grasping at straws.
Right. And so the blatant misrepresentation of facts further weakens Mercante's already precarious case. So if the motion to dismiss isn't achieved early, it's going to cost her more money when they make it to an actual court date. This will be dumb. False claims about private information disclosures, the next part, where that's a significant issue in Mercante's response, is the accusation that SmashJT exposed her private address. The filing states that the defendant disclosed plaintiff's residential address, placing her at risk. Well, this is a particularly glaring claim, given that Mercante herself revealed SmashJT's home address in the publicly available lawsuit filing while redacting her own. Uh-oh. This action has led to accusations that she deliberately exposed his private information while ensuring hers remain protected. Meanwhile, no specific instance has been presented where SmashJT allegedly revealed her residential address. This is a false claim. So without verifiable evidence, this argument appears to be an attempt to paint herself as a victim while shifting scrutiny away from her own actions. Loki, is it a good idea to dox people?
You know what you do when you can't win an argument? People dox other people. When you can't get ahead, when you can't get one up in the argument, when you can't, it always turns to the same thing. Someone needs to go and do this, or someone needs to call them out, or someone needs to email someone's wife, or someone needs to do this. Instead of actually dealing with the person and talking to the person, it resorts to this. Guess what? You can put other people in danger. You can look up the wrong information. That happened to me. Someone tried looking me up and found somebody up in Indiana that wasn't even me that they tried to contact. And I was like, well, that's what you get for not just asking me for my phone number or asking me for this. It can be dangerous and you could put someone else in danger. This is a big no-no with social media. You don't dox people. You don't throw their information out there, especially when they want that information to remain with them. All it is bad form. To quote a very old Disney villain, bad form, Peter, bad form. Well, bad form, Alyssa. We don't need any of this doxing nonsense.
Agreed. And look, this is even more strange because Wix hosting argument misses the mark because, well, SmashJT's website is hosted by Wix, which has a company with an office in Manhattan. Well, Wix probably has offices all across the United States, I would think. And the filing states, which Wix.com, which hosts defendant's website, has a primary office in New York, giving this court authority over the matter. I don't think it matters where things are hosted, website or no. And the reasoning's deeply flawed, apparently, and it ignores Coleman's arguments from the motion to dismiss. So he's already said why this is specious. He previously pointed out that jurisdiction requires that the defendant have an actual business ties to the location in question. The idea that using a web hosting service with an office in New York grants jurisdiction would set a dangerous precedent where any website hosted by a company with multiple office locations could be sued anywhere. And again, this is a problem. So, if applied broadly, this would mean that entities using Google, Amazon Web Services, or any other hosting platform could be sued in whatever jurisdiction their headquarters happen to be in. The attempt to manufacture legal standing here is weak at best. And I'm telling you right now, Ron probably would say this even better, but he basically is going to point out that this is nothing but a way to charge a client more money, an ignorant client more money. And I feel bad for people who are ignorant of the law or don't hire qualified service people, right? I mean, that's kind of what it seems like it's coming down to here.
Right. I have a business. I know Culture has a business. My business is still based in Missouri. It is not based in Texas, even though I live in Texas. My business, I have an office in Missouri. If Google was like, well, you're getting sued and they're going to blame Google and say that's out in California and I have to go to California, that's nonsense. That makes absolutely no sense. There's no reason why I should have to go to California if someone's trying to sue me when my business isn't even in California. So
Yeah.
this sounds like they are absolutely grasping at straws.
All right. And finally, the last thing we're going to cover here is the lawsuit is basically in desperation mode. Clearly it is. I mean, if they've got two major claims that are inaccurate, three that are clearly inaccurate, the response here appears to be more of a reactionary measure than a structured legal argument. It doesn't sound like, and they probably know that's full of tissue paper. In what may be the clearest sign of uncertainty, they state plaintiff intends to amend her complaint to address new post-filing conduct, which isn't going to do anything. I mean, she's out there talking about it as well. And she's also gone out and basically punched holes in anybody's argument about her past behavior in other aspects of her life. That signals a last-ditch effort to keep Mercante's lawsuit afloat by shifting the focus to newer allegations rather than standing by the original claims. Constantly amending a complaint suggests that the initial filing was not as solid as they initially believed, and now they're scrambling to find something, anything to hold on to. So ultimately, the bigger picture is that Mercante doesn't want to go away. Her legal team is relying on misrepresentations, weak jurisdictional claims, and attempts to reframe the case rather than presenting a strong, fact-based argument. Meanwhile, Ron Coleman's motion to dismiss remains a formidable challenge, positioning SmashJT in a strong defensive stance, which I really don't think he needs to be. I think this one is going to get put to bed. Loki, what are your final thoughts on wrapping this case up quickly?
Usually most of these problems could be solved by two people actually talking to each other. That's not going to happen here. Alyssa has always shown that she is going to do what Alyssa is going to do. SmashJT has talked about all of this in the past. He has talked about his responses to a lot of this stuff, and he's going to hold to that. She can't handle that. There's been information flying back and forth. I know that someone tried contacting his wife. Instead of having a debate or a discussion, this is where we're at because people refuse to have a debate and discussion. If you can talk it out with somebody, talk it out with somebody. Don't let it get to this level. She will not do that. She has refused to do that. So we get what we have here and what we've had here over the last year, which is this problem. I hope this gets dismissed. I hope JT is clear and this kind of stuff doesn't keep happening. If it does, you know where it's coming from and you know who it's coming from. It's coming from her.
Yeah, and I think you're right. I think if you take a deep look at what's been going on in the past, I think it's pretty clear that people put themselves in a position to be embarrassed, or they were embarrassed by some of their own actions. And when it was pointed out, they lash out. and they don't take responsibility, because accountability is a word that apparently only accountants understand these days. On that note, what do you guys think out there? Do you think Smash is in good shape? Do you think Ron's going to keep him safe? Do you think Alyssa is going to, pursue this despite the fact that she's only giving away money to these other attorneys? Let us know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Check out Loki's newly rebranded channel. And check out mine as well, Culture Casino on YouTube, Rumble, Odyssey, Minds, and Getter. On that note, as always, get your game on.